Yeah, it's my favorite part of this. So, all right, so let's continue with the lighting process. So we just clicked on our objects, we right click, assign new material. So what I did is this right here had a material, so I made this shiny. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Oh, Grammarly didn't kick in that time. Um, Medium, and this one I want it to be matte. So remember, this is Lambert, the default material. So I just right click, assign new material, click on Arnold, yeah, standard surface, and matte. All right. And I'll just click off this. Oh, and then I want a floor, right? Now something else, right? You want to name your materials because if I right click on this and I go assign existing material, I've already named these, so it's all good, right? So AI standard surface, I don't know which one this is. I don't think I assigned this to anything else. Yeah, so it's his own material. This is just one I didn't name. So I'll just click right here and name the floor. Whoa, wait, what happened? Floor. You know what? I'm gonna name another material. I don't know what's happening. So assign new material, Arnold, yeah, standard surface, floor. All right, so this is my floor. I want it to be kind of grayish. And let's look at these materials. So if I click on this, and the viewport will just show you like a preview just so you know where things are, but it's not gonna show you what it really looks like without what do you call it, the materials. So if I go here, look at a movie breakdown and kind of see. Okay, yeah, like this right here, right? So let's just peek this real fast. Goodbye Kansas Studio, great studio.
Yeah, sorry.
What is this, Walking Dead? They get some mocap people. Yeah, so this one to show you. So this is what everything looks like in the viewport with the default materials. And maybe if we have some like shaders on it, it might like, you know, be a different color, but it doesn't look like it will once it's like rendered. So you see how I went to gray shader to this. This doesn't look like the, I don't know if this is video game or what, but it's looking not, yeah, this is some kind of video game right here. So this isn't the real show, but they have like real breakdowns, you know. We can see it's a little bit better. We see the materials, they have skin shaders in it. There's metal, cloth, so yeah, it can replicate all that. And hey, look at what program they're in, right? They're using Maya. But in the end, the program doesn't matter. It's all about the artist. Like I said, this is like some, this isn't meant to look like, I mean, they're trying to make everything look as real as possible, but this isn't like the movie making stuff. This is, I'm not sure. It looks like maybe for like a video game possibly, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's start messing with these materials. So this is what I want to be shiny. We have our floor. If we click on this, and if I right click, if I want to go to material right away, so if I click on this, and sometimes if I have a lot of tabs here, I still have to go all the way to the end to get to the material. But if you click on the object and you right click and you go to material attributes, then we go straight to the material. So if I have this selected, or this, and like the floor, right click, material attributes, go straight to the material. All right, so this one right here, I want it to go to shiny. Let's make it red. I'll just click right here on the red. And if I want to make it shiny, well, we have our properties, right? So we have metalness, which gives it a metal property, which just kind of blacks it out. Because like I said, the viewport won't represent it 100%. We have our specular, And what specular is let's go specular. Specular is the whitest part of the image. So right here, these are like specular hits. And this is specular too, but because it has some roughness, it's spread out. So I go to this right here. These right here are specular. So it's the whitest, brightest part of the image, right? Specular. So same thing. It's just rough, and this is shiny. So when things are shiny, the specular hits are smaller, right? And when things are rough, it spreads out, right? So think about um car paint, which is real shiny and reflective, and then matte wall paint, which is just has the hit and it's like kind of spread out over the object. Yeah. So that's specular. Oh, here's a beautiful one right here. So anyway, so let's add some specular. Oh wait, no, specular's already in it. IOR means index of refraction. Um, if we type in IOR and go to index of refraction list, it's yeah, values through 3D modeling. Um, it kind of like recreates the surface, so it's like the fall off. And by fall off, what I mean by that, it's like the way the object reflects, right? So the fall off is like how much of this is like shaded and how much of this is lit. So here's a good example of it. And here's the fall off, and that's what IOR will change, right? So depending on what the values are, the IOR will change, and that will change the appearance of the object basically. So the fall off will either make it like flat. So this is matte, but it's all got specular still. But it's just the shading fall off, the way the object shaded. So let's go back here and yeah, we'll have that. But first, when we want to see these, we have to have some lights. So I go to Arnold lights and let's go to area light. And what it does is makes this square right here. Now the area, the direction of the light is determined by this right here. This little stick, right? And I can scale this, move it. I can make it rectangular. I can make it like this. I can change the type of light. So I can go to cylinder, and this will all give me like different looks. But I'll just stick it to quad right now. And I'm going to do like a little 3-point lighting setup, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. The cool thing about this is I can move this light like this and kind of move it where I need to go. Or I can go to panels. And I have my light selected right now, and I can go look through selected. Now I'm inside of my light. And it looks kind of skewed, doesn't look like a camera, but I can kind of set up my lighting right now just by being inside the light. And you can see the name right here. Now I want to get out this light. What do? I just go to panels and then I go to my perspective. Now I have my light set up and I have my camera. So to see what we're looking at, we need to go to Arnold right here, and we can go to the render, or we can go to the tab, which is what I like to do. Go to the tab, and I just click the play button. And then this comes up, and we don't see anything, right? And the reason why is our light exposure is too low. So you want to always keep intensity on one, but you want to mess with exposure. So if I select on this, I mean, you already know we're in this right here. And I'm going to name this my key light. So if I just click behind this, then right key, and you see the name updates right here. So Arnold key, because this is going to be our main light. We're going to do a key light, we're going to do a fill light, and a rim light. So I'm going to go over here to exposure, and this is what I like to do. I like to press 25 to take the exposure all the way up, and bang, this light is on, it's there, but it's just super bright. Also, right now, I'm looking through my perspective. So if I zoom in and out, I'm moving. Now, here's the thing. if I do this, you depending on your computer, the fan might start blowing, going zzz, because it's like really computationally intensive. So if you press stop, you can press stop and then you can move around and then you can press play to see the update again. All right. I have a sweet computer, so it's not an issue for me. But right now it says 25, which is way too high. So I'm just gonna cut it down and say, what is it if I take it to 15? Uh-oh, it's going down a little bit more, right? I do 10. Ah, okay. Looking good. Looking good. Now, right now I'm looking through my perspective, but I already have a camera set up. So if I click on this and go to render camera shape, now I'm looking at it through my render camera, but I can still move around. And I can even move this light around. And you see how it's updating, how it's working? Cool. So I could scale this up a little bit more if I wanted to. And the bigger it is, it kind of dimmed it a little bit because it's a larger light, but the intensity is low. So I just can go over here and type in like 15, up it up. What sometimes I like to do is I'll put it on a high number and then I'll just tap the line behind it until I start seeing something that I like. So that's pretty cool, right? Now the cool thing about Arnold is I want to adjust one of these materials. I don't have to select the object and then right click and then go to material attributes. I could do that, but I can also just click right here and it just will update. And you see the name, medium, so shiny. Oh, I meant to say shiny. And then matte. So I'll just click on this and I get the object and the material. So since I want this to be shiny, I'm going to turn the roughness down. Because if I turn the roughness up, let's see what it's looking like. We don't have that specular hit no more because the light's spreading. If I zoom in on here, I can kind of see it. Now, if I go to my roughness and take it down, we see that specular hit. If I bring it up, it spreads it out because that's what rough objects are. The light is spread out. So cool. I have this, and like I said, I can update the look in the viewport, so I can just kind of change the color to whatever I want. And then just adjust the material. So I'll click on done. Also there's metalness. So if I take the metalness up, it gives it like a metal look. But right now the scene's kind of dark, right? So I want to do my 3-point lighting setup. So I have this right here, and this is my key light. So let's make a fill light. And just to know what I'm doing, if I do 3-point lighting and go to images, let's see what's going on, right? So we have our camera, we have our key light, which is our main light. We have a fill light that comes in and fills the sides, and we have our backlight. Now, if we look at this portrait right here, this is a key light only, so it's only one light source. And then we have a fill light that's coming in and it's filling in the rest of her face. So we see how dark it is right here. So it brings us some of her face right here. And then we have a rim light, which is a light that comes from the back. Here's a good example of it. We have this light, direct light. It's like a key light and a fill light. This is just the rim light. So it's just the light coming in from the back. And you see it's got that Michael Myers, like killer kind of look. So you can adjust it different ways. So the lighting will kind of tell a story of what's going on. Same thing here. We have our camera, key light, fill light. There might be a light on top. I don't know. It's all possible. Key light, fill light, rim light, and you see when all of the three of them get together, they give you a complete picture, you know. But lighting tells a story. So it's like you can have somebody look like if you ever seen a flashlight shined under somebody's chin, that gives a certain look. And this will give a different look too. So 3-point lighting, key plus rim. So that means key light, main light. Then you have the light on the back, and then you have the fill. So it basically sets the mood. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a fill light. So to do that, I'll just do Control D, and I'll make another light. So I'll move it over here, and then I can like kind of move it like this. I'll move it over here. And then I'll even get inside the light. So I'll select the light and then look through select it. And then sometimes I'll hit an object and I'll press the letter F to focus in on them. And then I'll like zoom back. All right. Kind of like 90 degrees to the other light a little bit. And then perspective. I can even rotate the light if I need to, if I'm not feeling it. Yeah. So let's go back to my window and we can see how I filled that in, right? So let's see what it looked like without it, right? If I go over here to exposure and go to 0, we see what it looked like with everything off. And then if I go to 15, let's say, and take it down, we can see what it's looking like. Also, if I really want to see what it's looking like, let's say I'll put it on 0. I'll click on this right here, which creates a snapshot. So it stores this into memory. Well, it has this as long as the window's open. No, I think it's always here, actually. So I'm looking at it here with that because I created a snapshot. Now, if I go to 13 or whatever this was, say this with the added, and then I click on this to make another snapshot, I can go back and forth and I can see the difference. So key, fill. All right. Now, if I want to go back to the renderer, I just have to click on this eyeball, and now I'm back in the render. And remember, if it's going and you're moving around and stuff, you want to just press stop, and this will like stop it from calculating. Now it's time to make my rim light. So I do Control D, move this over here, and move this like this. Actually, let me get inside my object. So look through. Oh, and I'll name these two. So key, fill, rim. So I'm inside my rim light. This is my key, my fills. The rim is usually over top on the back. So I'm in it right here, and then I'll go to this panels, perspective, and just look at it. Now, let's see what this looks like. Now we see it with the rim. Let's save it. Key, fill, rim. So we have the 3-point lighting. Looking great. Now, if we want to mess with the lights a little bit, let's mess with them a little bit. So let's go to key, and let me take it off of this. Now we have something. Well, exposure. You always want to keep this at 1, but you want to mess with the exposure, right? Actually, let me do this.